sometimes in the last year or so, I've thought, I wish that he was my boyfriend again. I don't necessarily want to be single, but I miss the single life. I miss the text messages for no reason. I miss the coming up from behind me when I'm scrambling eggs and just kissing me on the back of the neck. Like,
I still do that, Boris. I still do that.
Okay.
I'm being, general here, but I'm just saying that the
there's a difference. There's definitely a difference.
There's the trappings of being single. Like, okay, you two are really good-looking people, okay, and you're married, and we're married. There's people that flirt with you, and the part of the flirtation doesn't make you necessarily go wayward, but part of the flirtation that even makes you look at your phone or in your workspace is that they have like a freshness or a newness. And I personally believe that if you're in it for the long haul, that freshness and newness is still possible if you talk about it.
Hello, ladies. So that was a clip that I saw randomly on Instagram with the beautiful Nicole Ari Parker. I have watched her in so many different films and television shows, and I really, really love her as an actor. She's a gorgeous woman. But you guys know I must address this particular part of this video that I saw that really disturbed my soul. Now, first I want to say I understand exactly what Nicole was saying. I am a woman. I'm a feminine woman. I have emotions. I have feelings. I desire the same things that she does as a wife. We've been married about the same amount of time. So I've been through lots of phases in my own marriage as me and my husband continue to get older, and we'll go through other seasons. So I do understand how she feels, and I believe I understand what she is trying to say, but this is how it looks, okay? When she came out publicly with her husband and said this, to me and to the outside world, first, it was disrespectful. Anytime you talk about wanting to be single again or thinking about being single again or enjoying the attention that you may be getting from the opposite sex, and any one of us who is a beautiful woman, we get attention from the opposite sex. You know, if you are halfway decent looking, please believe there is a man out there that is trying to talk to you. So I want to dig deeper into the context of what she was saying, and then I'm going to go further in the private Wifey for Lifey group today. Wifey for Lifey is just a group for married women or women who are in the process of getting married, and it's just a place for us to discuss different topics, a safe place for us to discuss different topics. So desiring to be single again when you've reached a certain level in life is very indicative of a lack of self-actualization, because when you come to a certain point in your marriage and in life, it is such an accomplishment to be able to say, I've been with this man, 18 years. I've been with this man. We've stuck together. We've been faithful to each other. We've been loyal. We've got through the issues. We've got through the problems. Like, that is such an accomplishment, and her and Boris Kodjoe have a very beautiful family. They have children. They are just a lovely couple. And first, let me start by saying there are just certain things you just should not share with the public. Certain things are meant for private spaces, which is why I have private spaces, because there are just certain conversations that I want to have, certain things I want to reveal about myself that I don't want to share publicly. And so I think Nicole, I don't know if it was too many of those drinks they was having or if she was a little too loosey-goosey, but Boris was not feeling her. I mean, you could see it in his body language. You could see it all over his face. And I think it's very important to understand that when you reach a certain point in your life, I think Nicole is 49 now. I mean, she really should know better. And not only that, she should have a better understanding of how to relate to her husband publicly. Now, what they do behind closed doors is what they do behind closed doors. But publicly, this looked really bad. I mean, he looked disengaged. He looked disconnected. And I wouldn't be surprised if they had a massive argument after this live. Now, here's what I want to say about this mentality. This is not really about Nicole. I don't know her. I don't know her situation. This is just something that I'm taking as a learning lesson for myself and for you ladies out here. First of all, who wants to be single again when you are happily married at 40? Even if your marriage is not on point, once you have built a life with someone and you have reached a certain level in your life, I mean, you guys, I tell you all the time, and I am not ashamed to say it, my husband does so much for me. It would be a huge adjustment to go back to being single, okay? It would put way more pressure on me in every area of my life. And I'm not here for it, okay? So this idea that being 40 is no different than being 25 and you can go out here and just grab a man up real quick, like, this is a myth. It's not true. And when you've reached a certain age in your life, you should have a little bit more discernment about where you're at and where you're trying to go. I mean, you have a whole family and you miss the single life. I think really what she was trying to say is that she misses the attention and the doting and the courting and the pursuing. And as a woman, we all want that. There is nothing wrong with that. That's what makes us women. We love to be treated well. We love gifts. We love our men to spoil us. We love our men to, tell us they love us. And, we want to feel appreciated and important as women. And there's nothing wrong with that. But here is the thing. Even thinking about being single in correlation with this is strange to me. That's the first point I want to make. And the second point I want to make is that when you've been married a long time, you should not trying to be going back to the old days of when you were 21. Like, my relationship with my husband is totally different now than when I was 22 years old. I wouldn't expect it to be the same, because when you're dating someone, a lot of that is wrapped up in emotion and lust. It is not love. It is not dedication. It is not really commitment. A lot of that doesn't happen really, to be honest, until after you're married and you're sticking it out and you're learning about each other. That's when that love really deepens and passion grows for your spouse. So it moves out of lust into passion. And I think that's what Nicole needs to focus on. Like, you're trying to get the passion back into your marriage. It has nothing to do with the single life you had when you could run around and guys would act like they were so into you so that they could get you into bed, really, because that was their goal. It has nothing to do with, going back to your young years when you were wild and crazy. It has everything to do with cultivating a healthy, passionate marriage. And I think I understand what she was saying, but this sends out the wrong message. It was embarrassing. It was cringy. And I want all of the women in my age range. Now, Nicole is older than me, but I'm not, she's about, I don't know how many years, but I think she's 49. That's too old to be talking about you miss being single. That's not what you miss. You miss your husband treating you as though you are the prize. But here's the thing. A lot of women put all of that on a man's back. We put all of that on our husband's back. Treat me good, love me, lift me up, praise me. But you have to put the effort into your own relationship as well. As women, we don't really get to sit back and just be like, well, it's your fault. You need to pursue me. Are you giving your husband a reason to pursue you? And I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. There were a lot of things that I had to change about myself to be better, to be a better woman, to be a better wife. I had to educate myself. I had to pray. I had to really ask God to humble me so that I could open up my eyes and see, like, what's the missing missing piece of the puzzle here, God. Like, where am I going wrong? I'm not getting what I want. I'm not getting the affection I want. I'm not getting this. And I think every married woman who's been married for more than 5 minutes will go through this in their marriage. You're going to go through a stage where it's like, oh, it's a little dry. What do I do? And I think at that time is when you need to turn to yourself and say, well, am I doing everything I'm supposed to do as a wife? Because I think we don't tend to do that in life. I think we always turn to the other person and say, it's your fault. You're not doing this. But we need to look inside and see if we are educating ourselves. When's the last time you took a class? Or when's the last time you read a book on relationships? When is the last time you got into a group chat with Christian women and had a conversation about marriage and, looked up to an older woman, an older, wiser woman who is, had so much more life experience. So that's really all I wanted to say is this idea of, I see this with a lot of 40-plus-year-old women who really think they still got it. Like they think they still got it. Like they can compete out here with these hot 23-year-olds with no children, and I just think that it's funny to try to act young or be young or desire a young lifestyle. It's okay for us to age, ladies. It's okay for us to embrace settling in, our traditional values, being a wife, being a mom, being whatever it is that you're supposed to be at that stage in your life, being an entrepreneur, being a hard worker, whatever it is that God has designed for your life, because all of our lives are unique. But you shouldn't be desiring to go back to the dating days with your husband. Those days are over and those days are never coming back. And you shouldn't want them to come back because you were probably immature then. You probably didn't know as much as you know now. Now you know better. So now you know how to cultivate a close relationship with your husband. And I want to leave on this last point. Ladies, never embarrass your husband in public. Never say, if you think it's going to embarrass your husband, don't even say it. Because what you're going to end up doing is hurting yourself, because your husband is going to internalize what you say, and he might not say anything to you, or he may say something to you, and he's going to become very disconnected. That is what men do. That is the first stage of knowing that something is wrong in your relationship. It is disconnection. A man will disconnect in a minute if he feels shame, if he feels disrespect, if he feels you don't appreciate him, if he feels like you're not sexually attracted to him. I mean, the list goes on, and we have our own list as well. But right now we're talking about a specific topic. And he will disconnect, and you won't even know that he is, somewhere else. And so when I saw this, I saw a beautiful couple that I respect, but this was the wrong conversation for public. This was the wrong conversation to have online. And furthermore, it's just the wrong conversation to have with your husband, period. If you want to tell your husband you miss his affection, you miss his touch, you miss his text, you miss everything that made you fall in love with him, you need to just speak in the moment, present, not talking about flirting and, because, we're good looking people. You know how people flirt with you. So what? You shouldn't be flirting with anybody. I don't entertain any flirting. None. Because I am with a man that I would not want to lose. And my husband feels the same way about me. I would not risk flirting or doing anything that would damage my marriage, because marriage is a covenant and you should be taking your marriage seriously. So when you're feeling lonely, when you're feeling like your husband is not giving you the attention that you want, that's not the time to tell him, well, I miss being single. And you're 40 plus. I mean, this is ludicrous. I miss being single. I miss what it was like being single. And the truth of the matter is, being single and dating, that's not a very secure time in your life because you're not really settled in. The best thing about marriage is it gives you a sense of security and stability. And it's really hard to describe it in words, but it's like having that safe place that you can always go to. It makes you feel like you have wings or like you have a cape and you can fly because you know somebody's always in your corner. And that is more important than lust, than excitement, than trying to feel good, trying to stay young. That's more important than any of that. And so I just want women who are aging to understand and have a better perspective of your love is going to grow over time. And if you want more passion in your marriage, do something about it. And that's what I'm going to talk about in the Wifey for Lifey group today, because I know a lot of people are stuck in their house with their husbands for the first time. And they've never experienced this, and they have realized that, oh, the friendship has died, the passion has died. And so today I am going to hop into my private group. I'll leave a link in the description box below to talk about if you want passion, do something about it. And I'm going to give you some tips and, you know, some wisdom that I have gained over the years from experiencing my own problems and going through my own issues. So that's all I have for this video. I hope you guys will leave me your feedback on what you thought about the video. And if you ever experienced with your husband, you know, not feeling loved, or, you know, have you ever had to work on the passion, you know, regaining your intimacy? Because it's going to happen in every marriage. Like I said, that is long lasting. So, yeah, I will see Patreon members in the group later on today. Have a great day, you guys. Bye.